Good afternoon and welcome to our weekly town hall broadcast. Here I'm Colonel Matt Caspers, the Vice Wing Commander at the 412 Test Wing here at Edwards Air Force Base.
I guess your mic's not on.
Can you not hear me?
So as Colonel Caspers was saying, this is the 412 Test Wing's weekly town hall. Today is December 9th.
How about now?
And can they hear you now?
Can you hear me now?
Okay.
I apologize.
No worries, sir.
Today's December 9th, is that right, Chief?
It is.
Friday?
Friday.
And we are fast approaching the holidays. There are a whole bunch of holiday parties across the installation all week long and today. I've bebopped around and seen a few. Have you seen a few? I've seen a lot of folks setting up for them, that's for sure.
Today's my first day back, so I've kind of missed a lot of it, but I definitely will be checking things out as I get settled again. So yes, lots of fun stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff going on even in our front office, so yes.
That's right. We have the front office holiday party this afternoon, shortly here after Town Hall. But the big event today would certainly be Winterfest that we're going to have. As I understand it, Santa is going to be riding in on a fire truck.
Yes.
So it's going to be pretty exciting. So I'll be there with the family, and I think that'll be a really good time. I think there's going to be food trucks.
Food trucks, vendors, the whole nine.
Awesome.
It should be a good time.
All right, well, we have a pretty full lineup today. Today, our Warriors of the Week are the winners of the quarterly weapons load competition, where the F-22, the best of F-22 weapons loaders, the best of F-35 weapons loaders, and the best of F-16 weapons loaders here in the 412 Test Wing faced off to determine who was number one. And I'm here, we're joined here with Sergeant Zarek, Airman Jones, and Sergeant Castellino, who are the F-22 Load Crew 2, if I got that right,
Raptor Crew
winners,
2.
the Raptor Crew 2 weapons loaders who are victorious earlier this week in the weapons load competition. So welcome to the Takata 2 Town Hall as Warriors of the Week.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So, was this an expected win? Is it?
Honestly, it wasn't. I was not expecting it. And then you said crew 2, and we were all like, do they have a crew 2 as well? Like the other AMUs?
No, they're all different numbers, right? I feel like the ones who were out there the other day. But there's a picture to include with the Grinch out in front of the F-22 after your winning load. Could you tell us a little bit about the competition? So that was the first time I'd ever seen a weapons load competition. But you know, you looked like you loaded 2 weapons onto the airplane. There was definitely a clock, and I'm guessing there was probably a lot of other rules that only maintainers are witting to.
Yes, we loaded a GBU-32 and an AIM-9X, and we have to do that in the time standard of, for us, it's 37.5 minutes. And we loaded it in 22-ish.
Oh, I see what you did there.
21:53?
22, F-22.
Yeah, rounding up to 22.
Okay.
He's you know, don't sell yourself short. He definitely did it even faster. So in your 21:53, so 22 minutes winning time for how quickly you load. But for all the folks out there who aren't familiar with what that looks like, you know, how heavy are those weapons? How big are those weapons roughly?
GBU-32 is about 1,000 pounds, and the 9X is around 180.
Okay, so for that GBU-32, you definitely just, you know, work that up on your shoulder and jam it in there?
Well, we have a vehicle that we drive. It's called the Jammer. And so we got to make sure we align it properly and get it underneath and lift it properly. If we were off by a little bit, something could definitely go wrong.
So what are some of the challenges associated with loading those kinds of weapons on the F-22?
At least for space and for me as the driver, I can't really see where I'm going, so I got to rely on him to make sure he lines me up just right. If I'm off by a hair, we got to go back out and realign, and it just makes it a lot more complicated than trying to do it externally on the outside of the jet.
So it's a true team effort. I know when my immersions were going in the beginning of my tour, I had the opportunity to go over and be the third person on one of those loads, if you will. I mean, we didn't do it in record time like you all, but they definitely took me through how it all works and showed me some of the inspection process as you all do your jobs. And so hats off to you on that effort, because it is not easy, and you make it look that way, but it's not easy. So kudos.
So I noticed one of the interesting things is that you loaded weapons for the internal bays for the F-22. You got a lot of space in there. Is it pretty easy to see the lugs?
Definitely not. There's a lot of things in the way, so it's me and my tiny hands have to try to get it through and guide my one man through it all.
So Lucas, you were saying you were the jammer driver. Are you always the jammer driver?
Yes, I'm always driving, so unless we're doing something by hand, which is usually only the AIM-9s that we all carry together, I'm always driving at every angle that we can get the munitions in.
And then so if you're always the driver, then Jordan and Jason, what are your designated roles? And are they always the same?
I'm the team lead, and yes, they're always the same. So I'm pretty much in charge of those two and make sure that they're doing everything they're supposed to.
So what you're telling me is weapons loading is not a pickup game where you grab any three folks off the flight line and just go and pick up a missile and load it on an airplane.
No, sir.
Okay, so
So how long have you how long do you have to train together in order to be, qualified to do a load, if you will?
We are trained on our certain positions. So we got 1, 2, and 3 men. And once we're trained on that position, we can swap around people, but we like to stick with the same crew so that we're more comfortable with each other.
I see.
makes a lot of sense. Yeah, the teamwork that we got to see out there during the weapons load competition was really extraordinary, and without a doubt, the attention to detail and the precision to be able to maneuver those weapons around with that kind of those kinds of tolerances, it was really impressive to see. How long have you been here at Edwards?
I've been here for almost 5 years.
Okay.
About 5 years as well.
Okay, some Edwards veterans.
I've only been here for a year, sir.
Okay, roger that. So that means you've definitely only been working together for a year at the longest.
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty extraordinary. So what do you, when you're not loading weapons and winning the competitions, what are you doing in your spare time?
I usually just play video games and watch YouTube.
Okay, that's pretty
good.
pretty common these days.
Yeah.
I typically just enjoy playing video games, working out, and spending time at home watching movies.
Awesome.
Jones?
Yeah, I do about the same as they do. Just a little bit more, a little bit less, depends on the day.
I see.
That's good. Is driving that jammer like a video game?
Definitely not. It definitely is different from driving any other vehicle. Once you hop on it, you don't realize how fast it'll go or how quick it'll stop or the way it turns, because it's rear wheel drive, so the tires turn from the back. So you're pretty much drifting, as I like to consider what I'm doing when I drive, is I'm just drifting the side of the vehicle as I try and line this up with the jet.
How long does that qualification take?
It depends.
On the person, probably?
If you're brand new, it might take a little bit longer to get used to it. I've been doing it ever since I entered this career field, so it's pretty, it's muscle memory for me now at this point.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome. Could you describe any of the other traditions that are associated with weapons loads competitions?
Oh, I mean, we got the classic jammer driving competitions that...
The
Jammer Jamboree.
The
Yeah,
Jammer
there it is.
Jamboree.
Yes.
That was pretty good to see last year.
What did they do last year, Chief?
They just have an obstacle and, they just go through it, and I'm assuming that they were timing it, and whoever had the fastest time was the winner. So it was pretty neat to see. Most of the folks that got on there, though, were experienced drivers, so it wasn't like somebody like me getting on there and going the wrong way or turning the wrong way. So, yeah, they're pretty skilled. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, the Jamboree sure was a lot of fun to watch that. And then after some urging, I participated
Did
in
you?
the Jamboree.
How did
I
you
did.
do?
Uh,
Did you debunk my theory that I just talked about?
which theory would that be?
Like getting on there like cold and not knowing anything and like turning the wrong way and like going backwards or not.
We should ask
not-
these guys to
Okay,
judge
yes.
my performance.
How did he do?
He hit a cone immediately.
Immediately or the second cone?
See, that was what I'm
And
trying
then he
to
backed
say.
up and hit it again.
Oh, no. And then I drove over it again.
Oh, so
It was
you
a
were.
three-peat.
Oh man, I hate I missed this.
Oh, it was great. Oh, you won't have to. They got plenty of footage.
Oh,
for it.
are they going to show the video?
I don't think we have it queued up, but
Darn it.
I definitely have a much greater appreciation for those folks, our winners, but all of our loaders as they load those weapons with those really tight tolerances. And when we do this downrange in combat, right, those are things that go boom, right? So you obviously don't want to drop those, and it takes a lot of care and precision. So certainly. It was a humbling experience to take the jammer out for a spin on the Jamboree, and you take off, you feel like you've got the hang of it, and then that cone just jumps out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's true. Pesky cones around Edwards.
But anyway, it was a great time, and I'm glad I was able to participate and be able to appreciate just a fraction of the challenge that you face just every day and doing your job. So, the excellence and the teamwork that is exemplified by you three gentlemen in winning that competition, the training and attention to detail that was represented Wednesday when you won. That was a really great experience, and I just think overall awesome. So congratulations again.
Yes.
And I don't know if you have any other parting shots for us, any questions for us.
I assume you all are going to be gaming this weekend. Is that the plan?
That is the plan.
I'm gonna probably go show up to the AMXS holiday party. So
Oh, there you go. Get out of the game for a second.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Are you going to dress up, wear an ugly sweater, or what do you got going on?
Weirdly enough, I don't have an ugly sweater. Crazy enough.
You got to get one.
I know,
Hans.
I do.
Awesome. Well, enjoy the holiday party. Enjoy your weekend, all of you. Thank you for joining us today on our weekly town hall. It's always an honor and a pleasure to have you all come on and tell your stories. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you again. Really appreciate you sharing the experience, and thanks for being patient with me as I destroyed that cone. Awesome. All right, so y'all are cleared to swap out with the next folks. We're going to have, let's see, Mr. William Brown and, I'm sorry, my mistake. I have it out of order. Next up is we're going to talk about the Southgate closure. We've got Captain Metz from Security Forces, who's going to be joining us to just talk about the holiday gate schedule. So I know that there's when it comes to the gate schedule, that's obviously a very personal, as folks make their decisions on which gate to drive into, which days they're coming to work, and it can be really frustrating to not know what's happening with the gates, right? So we just want to really make sure that we're getting the word out. You'll be hearing this message over and over again through all of the Takata 2 media outlets. You'll see it in the app. You're going to see it here in Town Hall. You'll see it from other PA publications. I believe as Captain Metz is probably going to talk about, I think we'll have some marquees out there to help folks understand and get warned ahead of time. But Captain Metz isn't quite ready yet, but bottom line, we are going to be having some extended gate closures to give the defenders some much earned time off during the holiday season here, which is really, really, really a great thing and a great way to be able to get back to them.
I think so as well. I was pretty excited about the different options that were proposed to us. They all made sense, and we went with the one that allowed for the most free time for the defenders to have with their families, or to just have it down and off. So that worked out.
Yeah, that was really terrific. All right. I see we've got Captain Metz in the seat. If you're ready, if you could, just tell us a little bit about the Southgate closure that we're planning.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. So security forces will be closing the south gate for the duration of the holiday schedule. That's 22 December at night, going until the morning of January 3rd, which is back in the saddle day. It lines up security forces manning and security forces posting with test wing guidance, which is no meetings, minimum manning, no flight during that week between Christmas and New Year's. So the 27th, 29th December, those 3 days. Per General Higer, commanders and directors are encouraged to promote telework options and leave for their members who may be affected by the gate closure that week. And then we'd also like to note that if you do have a mission critical asset that needs to move through Southgate, if you're at the AFRL, if you're on the range, if you're going back and forth to Plant 42, and if you have any emergency concerns, then we do have the capability to open up the gate in a rather rapid period of time. So.
Okay. Thanks, Captain Metz. Could you talk just a little bit about how many defenders that means we're going to be getting additional holiday time and rest?
Yes, sir. So our minimum manning for that gate is 2 defenders per shift, and for the holidays we're operating 2 12-hour shifts, so that's 4 people per day. A lot of times we are working with three people down there, so up to 6 personnel per day are getting time back. Over the course of those 11 days, that's over 500 hours that are returned to the family members. So speaking on behalf of all of my personnel, my defenders who are out there at the gate, we really do appreciate the base's consideration and them helping us out to give this time back.
Thanks, Captain Metz. I know it's important to General Higer and the rest of the leadership team that they would be able to thank the defenders and be able to give them that well-earned time off. So if you've got any questions about the Southgate closure or any other questions, like throughout the town hall, go ahead and text your questions, 707-412-8922, and we'll answer your questions. Chief and I will answer your questions, or if we don't have the answer, we'll be able to get back to you. But again, if you could flash up the chart just to make sure that everybody could see it, it's 23:59 on 22 December until 5 in the morning, 0500 on 3 January. So basically those 2 weeks there around Christmas, it is going to be closed. And it's really only a handful of days that were otherwise not on the holiday schedule, or I should say where we don't have a federal holiday. And the wing is essentially stood down in terms of meetings and flying. So at the end of the day, really encouraging telework and those flexible options.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
just-
have to. Go ahead, sir.
I was just going to say, it's just also a really good time to take leave.
Yeah, it is. I mean, when you think about it, there's only 4 days in between that entire holiday schedule that are impacted by the closure because technically those are already going to be off days. And so it's just adding a little extra to what we were already going to be getting in that. And what we need to do a good job of is socializing, because it never fails when the gate closes. There's always somebody, to include myself, that has driven down there and realized, oh yeah, they did say it's closed today. And so that's a long trek down and back if you weren't paying attention or if you missed the memo. So we'll have to all make sure to pass the word around. And even though we push it out on an email or an ad hoc or whatever the case.
Right. So that full court press starts now. And certainly the central methods that we use to push out this information and broadcast, like Chief said, it won't be enough. We're relying on everybody who's watching now to tell their family and friends that the Southgate will be closed during this period of time in your work centers. Please make sure that folks know as they're walking out the door at the end of the week, hey, that the Southgate's going to be closed and it's not going to be open again until the 3rd of January when we're back in the saddle here. So there's a variety of ways that you can learn about it, get notified, but certainly the reminders, just people to people, and having that conversation. Hey, just remember Southgate's going to be closed. Make sure you're, because it's really hard to break that habit, right? If that is your routine, going in and out the Southgate, to remember to go out the west or north gates. Captain Metz, is there anything we missed in terms of where people can go to find the message if they missed it and they want to know when it's going to be open again?
Yes, sir. So a email was flashed out to all the squadron commanders on base yesterday with all the details that are contained in this slide. You can find it. We'll have the marquees up on the side of the roads coming in and out of the south gate starting next week. There will be ad hocs going out starting Monday, almost every day between then and the beginning of the holiday schedule. And then the FSS is putting it on their marquees. This information was passed out to the housing advocates. So we're doing our best to get as much information out there as possible.
On the app as well, sir?
Yes, on the app as well.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right. Well, Captain Metz, you're cleared off, and we're going to swap in Mr. William Brown. So it was, I think, our next topic. We're going to talk about the new helping agencies building. But while they're swapping out, I understand, well, I know we just cleared off the Warriors of the Week, the weapons load crew who just won. I believe that the cone that I absolutely destroyed is available. I don't know.
Wow.
To the PA booth, do you have the cone?
The cone is making an appearance. You have to do it ceremoniously.
All right. Oh, okay. Here we go. Here, bring it over here. Here's the cone, and so they have asked me to sign the cone. That I absolutely. It doesn't look that worse for wear. I'll be honest. Oh, there it is. There's some really good battle scar damage there. But so now you can.
It's still pretty operable. I don't know.
I think it still would function. But there you go. There's a souvenir of the Vice embarrassing himself at the Jammer Jamboree. But again, thanks again for coming out. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome. It's good. We haven't really ever done one of these where we stand up at all in the town
know.
hall. So I didn't even know we had
I
the.
kind of like how they zoomed
I
out
know.
on.
I didn't even know
zoom
they
on
had
back.
that.
Stay back.
I didn't even know we had that kind of capability. So I don't always have to be so close. Right?
Exactly.
Awesome. Okay. Well, again, congratulations to our weapons load team
Raptor
of the
crew.
quarter. Yeah, Raptor, the Raptor weapons load team. They did an absolutely fantastic job. And just overall, hats off to the maintenance group, showcasing the fine work that those airmen do every day, day in and day out here, and helping us educate us about what it is that they do. All right, so now turning a page over to Miss Carolyn Graves and Mr. William Brown, who are here from our Sexual Assault Prevention and Response Office, as well as our Community Support Coordinator. So these are two folks who are really a part of the fabric of our community of helping agencies. And one of the things that we have that is really wonderful news here at Edwards Air Force Base is Edwards is, if not the first, one of the first to have actually realized and delivered on the no wrong door policy of, when an airman is in distress and they go to one of the helping agencies on base, that those agencies are now co-located. And if that agency that the airman initially goes to, they can, if they can't actually support their needs, they can get them to the agency that they need without having to drive all over base. So Ms. Graves and Mr. Brown are just two representatives from a very large team of helping agencies. And I'd like to start with Ms. Graves because as I understand it, you have been on this team to pull together this no wrong door implementation and get the building stood up, get the requirements put together, and then ultimately deliver on which I understand just was the 29th of November, the initial operational capability of this building. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. It's been a long journey, I would say, since 2016. We've been in the process of making this vision come true. So we kind of actually started before the no wrong door policy came out. So we were a little bit ahead of the game, which was actually kind of nice. But to kind of, make sure that we hit all the points that we needed to hit and kind of keep it on course and make sure all the offices had what they needed, it was a challenge.
Awesome. Yeah. So it's a challenge for sure. But I would say that you all have done an extraordinary job. For all the folks out there who haven't been over to see the building, it is at the corner of Popson and Rosamond. It is across from the chapel, Chapel 1, I believe. I think it's Chapel 1. Correct me to 100%, but it is a really easy place to find. Oh, look, we've got pictures, even better. So I don't know if you all would like to go ahead and just talk us through the pictures that we have here, and what we see, and which agencies are in the building.
Okay, this is the initial, more or less, welcome to the helping agency buildings. This is actually the back of the building. So the parking lot is actually the back of the building. So the entrances are all located on the front of the building. So it's kind of a walk, but we do have footprints down to kind of lead you in that direction to the front of the building. So that is those are the footprints leading you to the SAPR office. Of course, we're all about the teal. So if you see teal, that's SAPR.
Nice.
Awesome.
So within our offices, this is the SAPR office, which is definitely an upgrade from where we were before in building 3940. So we are so excited, and we would really like for everybody to come by and see us because it's a definite upgrade.
I'll have to get over there. I've been saying that, but
We actually have a training room now.
Yeah.
This is the EO entrance. So our training room will accommodate at least 30 people in there. So now we no longer have to go out and ask for some place to conduct training. All training will be conducted in this building.
Very nice.
The EO lobby area. EO also has a small conference room. And Vanessa Brown happened to be at her desk when William came through. So she is our new violence prevention integrator. So you might remember her as Senior Master Sergeant Brown. Okay, and we have a new EAP field consultant. For those who remember, Dr. Vale retired and Dr. Kathleen McVeigh took his place.
We had Dr. McVeigh on maybe a month ago,
Yeah, I was gonna say a few
to talk about the EAP program, which was really great. So it's great to have you two both here to showcase the new helping agency building 2670, right? Building 2670 across from Chapel One. You park obviously you park in the parking lot, but on the parking lot side, it's the back of the building, and then you walk around to the main entrance on the front of the building, which is opposite the chapel, closer to the flags near the library.
Correct. The nice part is we all have separate entrance doors. So within that building, we have the community support coordinator. We have the Diversity, the DEIA office, along with the EO office. We also have the violence prevention integrator, and we also have the employee assistance program. So we're all there. You may have noticed at the very beginning, our sign kind of looked like the alphabet sign is what I call it, generally refer to it as. So if you see all those initials up there and you're not quite sure where to go, any door that you enter, we will be happy to make sure and escort you to the correct area. So there's that alphabet soup sign, as I call it. Our areas are clearly marked, but there is no wrong door as far as we're concerned. We will make sure you get to where you need to go.
Thank you for that, Carolyn. That's a really great segue in that doesn't matter if you don't know what all those acronyms are. It is the place where you can get help. Someone's going to help you when you get through those doors. And speaking of help, as we roll into the holidays here, right? It's not always a relaxing and enjoyable time for everybody. Sometimes it can be pretty stressful. So when you're having those interactions with your friends, colleagues, and workforce, make sure, if you're picking up on those kinds of things, you help them get the help that they need. And if you are any airman, but especially supervisors and leaders, and you're looking as to how can I help my airmen get help? And I mean that capital A airmen. There are these neat wallet cards that are available over at the Helping Agency building. You can also get all the information that's on this card by either scanning the QR card that's on the card, which, of course, if you have the card, then you don't need that. What I'm getting at is that if you just Google Edwards Air Force Base, what?
It's on the green side.
Green side? Oh, yeah, the QR. There we go. Look at that. Zoom in there. So we can zoom in and zoom out. I'm sorry. Yep, there we go. Oh. So you can shoot the QR code, or you can just Google Edwards Air Force Base Helping Agencies.
It's on the app.
I checked. Yeah, it's on the right at the top. It's on the Edwards Air Force Base app that you see there. So there's a lot of ways that you can get this information. I carry one of these in my car. I really find it helpful. And what's important is it has both the military agencies on one side and the civilian agencies on the back side. William, is there anything else you want to highlight, or Carolyn? William or Carolyn?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'd like to say, I guess the Department of Defense a couple of years ago kind of did a stand down and said, how can we provide better care, more continuity of care for our service member and people who serve in our government. And so across the board, they looked at best practices in all the armed forces, and they came up with what we've mentioned as a no wrong door policy, which at AFMC we call connect to care. And the idea is that certain agencies, such as sexual assault response and prevention and response, equal opportunity, diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility would be in one location. So when and if an individual wants support or needs support, they find us in one location, and we provide care, get the person to the right location, the right point of contact at the right time. And so it's really, I appreciate the effort to make it easier for members to access care, be it in person, online. But we're really excited because this is going to be expanding throughout our command and throughout the Air Force, and hopefully refine and accentuate the support we provide to our members.
Awesome. Thanks, William. Yeah, before we close out here, I just wanted to say thank you to both of you, not only for what you do every day in terms of helping our airmen who are struggling or working on the prevention and making sure that our community, in fact, our community of helping agencies are working together to help airmen to get the help that they need. But also thank you both for working the No Wrong Door, building the helping agency consolidation. That's a major milestone for the effectiveness of delivering that care. And Carolyn, especially, thank you for your years of service in driving this to the finish line. So I really appreciate that. And then finally, also, thank you very much to, while they're not here, to the teams of CE folks who also worked that so that we could accelerate that project and get it over the finish line. So,
Sir, I consider that one item crossed off my bucket list.
Nice.
Awesome. Congratulations, Carolyn.
Thank you.
Sir, if we can just say thank you to the wing, and you know, it was a significant investment, a multi-million-dollar investment to stand this facility up and renovate it. And it shows our airmen, Big A, that we really do care for you and want to provide excellence in all that we do in providing support. So thank you very much for the support.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thanks again for joining us here at Town Hall at the Center of the Aerospace Testing Universe. We do have a question actually in there which we will answer while we swap out, because next up we're going to have Ms. Melody Couch from the Housing Office, because we owed you an answer back on that. So the question that we have is Fitzgerald Boulevard is getting pretty rough. Are there any plans to fix this road in the near future? Yes, we have noticed that the road is getting pretty rough, so has CE, and I can actually report that we had plans to fix it and start paving actually, I think it was actually a week ago, but with the weather changing and getting a lot colder, and with Winterfest sliding to the right because of the B-21 rollout, we have elected to move the repaving into the spring when the repaving materials, when the asphalt can cure properly. So we don't really want to patch it and then, or repair it, I should say, and then have to redo it again in short order. So springtime is when to look for the Fitzgerald repaving there in front of the BX commissary area. And all right, so another question out there. How can we communicate to our airmen the significance of the B-21 unveiling? Well, I'll just say, for me, the best way to do it is just talk about it often, and point them out to the live stream, or now it's no longer live, it is the recording. So it's still out there on the Edwards YouTube. Perhaps PA can flash the link up there, but it is still available. If you Google it, there are a wide range of a number of links where you can get to go and watch the speeches from the Northrop Grumman CEO and chairman, from the vice chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and from the Secretary of Defense. And frankly, each one of those speeches were really excellent in talking about and communicating the message that our national security leaders are communicating to the world, frankly. Chief, do you have anything to add? Were you able to make it out to the unveiling?
I was able to make it out. It was a, I don't know how to describe it, but it was awesome to be a part and witness firsthand the unveiling of just yet another example of air power and what we do in the Air Force and that sort of thing. And so I wish more of us could have been there for that. I'm glad that we were able to live stream it so that everybody else still had an opportunity to see what we were seeing there on the ground. And yeah, it's a huge deal. It's very significant. And I don't know if words can really put it into perspective. I guess when you think about what's been pointed out and how we haven't did an unveiling of a bomber in 30 years or more. So that right there should tell you that this is a big deal. This is not something that you do every year. This is like the bomber of bombers, if you will, and all the different capabilities that it's going to be able to deliver, and just adding to the already awesome bomber fleet that we have. I was pretty excited about it all. But yeah, I think you hit it spot on in that if you can just go out there and hear it from those speakers, they really sum it up well. So.
Looks like our PA team is here's an opportunity right now for all those watching to see the unveiling right there.
I'm ready to see it in the sky.
Yeah, that will be terrific. That's what the Northrop Grumman chairman was saying. The next time you see this airplane, it'll be in the sky. So
I know we're Edwards for testing.
That's pretty excellent. Yeah, I had the privilege of joining the CTF, the Raider CTF, for their live stream watch party. So there's obviously one of the things we probably don't talk about as much is just the fact that there's been so much work behind the scenes to get ready and to prepare, right? Because like as Warren said, it is the next time we see the airplane, it's going to be flying. So
the Northrop Grumman folks and all the folks down at the plant and anybody else that had a part in it, to include the folks up here and especially the CTF, I know that they were all pretty stoked when it finally was unveiled. And yeah, kudos to everyone that made that a success. That is a huge contribution to national defense and air power. So yeah.
Yeah, I suppose, and I think to go back to what the person asking the question, how do we communicate? I think it's really important that if you're trying to communicate to your airmen about the B-21 rollout and the significance, that you really watch the SecDef's message. It really, really has an excellent message that pulls together the narrative in terms of the national security objectives that we're getting after with B-21 in terms of air power and what innovation and teamwork really looks like. So there's a lot of really great nuggets from that speech. Plus, there's also PA guidance, so you can reach out to the PA shop to get the facts on B-21, what you can and can't say. But I think that's probably one of the biggest things, is just have folks watch the unveiling, and then you can talk with that and use the PA guidance to communicate that the importance of that.
One more shout out to the defenders, for the security detail. That's a huge lift for what you all did there. Kudos to you as well. I was pretty proud going down there and seeing some familiar faces and the excitement of everybody that was there as a guest, and knowing that our folks were making that a possibility. So yeah, shout out to the defenders. And
also just kudos, I want to pass that on to the Hill Air Force Base comm team that came out and helped stream and produce that live stream. And notably there were no dropouts. We were able to watch it. And then also to all the PA professionals here locally at Edwards Air Force Base that supported the multiple different watch parties.
Yes.
And then just also the tremendous amount of media engagement in the local area, since literally all eyes in the world were on Air Force Plant 42 in Palmdale for that rollout. So thanks again to all the folks there. So let's see. I see another note. Just a reminder. So break, kind of going back to the paving. There was a note on paving. Just wanted to clarify and make sure that everybody realized that is half of Fitzgerald, or not half of all of Fitzgerald, but the half in front of BX Commissary in the springtime. All right, so thank you for those questions. Appreciate the folks out there who are watching, texting in those questions. If you have any other questions, please text in 707-412-8922. We can't always answer the question right now. Sometimes we will have to say, I don't know, and we'll have to come back and get you an answer. And a great example of that is what we're going to talk about next. We have Ms. Melody Couch from the Housing Office. So a couple of weeks ago, we got some questions on how the housing wait list works, where we can find it. And we gave some, it was actually at the award ceremony from one of the airmen. And we talked about that. And, or no, maybe it was here. I don't know. My brain it's all blurred together on this Friday afternoon. But the bottom line is we were able to give you some generic answers, but we weren't able to give you the specifics. But here today we have Ms. Melody Couch who can give you the specifics. We can talk a little bit through the housing waitlist procedures, tell you where to find the up-to-minute housing waitlist. So welcome, Ms. Couch. Really appreciate you coming down here to Town Hall.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for inviting me today. So, understanding the wait list is a challenge. I understand that there are a lot of questions out there, some misconceptions about it. So I'm going to see what I can do to straighten that up. I did bring some slides also. Perfect. Nope, wrong slide. Back. That's it. So the first thing I'd like for everybody to understand and know is that the wait list and the offering of homes is very precise. It's very controlled. It is laid out in the legal documents for the program. Mayroad cannot make exceptions. They have to follow them, and the Military Housing Office has to go through and certify what they are doing, that they are doing it the correct way. So some of the most common questions that we get are here. You may have more, and feel free if you have more to let me know, but I will do what I can to answer them. So people ask, how do you get on the wait list? Well, the best way is to go to the HEAT program, the Housing Early Assistance Tool. It can be found on housing.af.mil or homes.mil. You just click on there. You'll see a huge icon. Click on it, fill it out. The information that you upload along with your documents will go straight to the MHO. The MHO is going to then go through the documents, ensure that you are eligible to reside on housing. Once they can say that you are, they're going to send that over to Mayroad. Mayroad will then contact you and let you know that they have the application, make sure they have all the paperwork, and work on getting you on the wait list. So once they have your application, how do you find out your place on the wait list? How is it determined where you go on the wait list? Well, it's determined by eligibility date and priority level. Your eligibility date is simply for our inbound members. It is the date that they are expected to leave their losing base and arrive at Edwards, when they would be able to take a home at Edwards. If somebody is already at Edwards and wanting to move into housing, it would be the day they walked in or filled out the application with all the appropriate paperwork. When we talk about the priority level, that is how the Air Force and Mayroad we rack and stack the applicants. So we have 9 priorities. The first 2 are the most important for us here at Edwards. We call them target tenants. Priority number 1 would be our key and essential members. Those are the people that are required to reside on base for their mission. They have to be able to get on base at all times. We also have wounded warriors, and sometimes we have members that have special considerations that require they get into housing sooner. It has been approved by the wing. Those are all priority 1. Priority 2 is our main source of tenants. Those are active duty members assigned to Edwards that have families. And it would also include members that are on their way into Edwards but are physically assigned here. Then we can go down to the other priorities. It's called the tenant waterfall. If for some reason Edwards ever had an instance where we could not maintain 95% occupancy for more than 30 days, then we could go into the waterfall. We've only done it once, but that would be people like our unaccompanied military. It would be maybe somebody who is assigned to China Lake, but they want to live at Edwards. It can go on down the waterfall to military retirees, DOD civilians. It goes all the way down to the general public. Chances are we're never going to get down to the general public, but it's there. And based on where you fall in those levels is how you get on the wait list. So next is how are wait lists calculated? Waitlist times are really an educated estimate, and they change daily or can change daily. Historical data, the inbound applicants, the residents that have notified May Road that they're going to be moving, all of this is taken together to come up with an estimated waitlist time. But nothing is written in stone. Things can change. If we suddenly, when we go into PCS season, that is going to up or actually bring down the wait time. It is very important that people understand that when they see their time on the wait list, that it is a moment in time and it can change. It's always important for you to follow up and check with May Road and see where you are on the wait list, because it could change. And additionally, your place on the wait list might change. It's not going to change by much, but there are times when it'll change. You may have, you're here at Edwards, you're ready to move into a home, you're waiting, but what if an unaccompanied member that has been deployed Oconus for over a year, and they apply and they're going to show up tomorrow? Well, in a case like that, there is a contingency that they get a year's credit for the time that they were away from their family and they were Oconus. So they might go above you on the wait list. People who apply ahead of time, it's very easy to have somebody go above the wait list on them because they have a different eligibility date. Somebody may apply 6 months out, and then somebody else gets sudden orders and they're going to be here in the next 2 months. So suddenly they're above them on the wait list. Hopefully it won't be too bad for them, but it does affect where they are. And then there are, with the changes or even without the changes, the wait list is a living document and moves all the time. So one of the questions we hear all the time is, or not a question, a statement. I came to the base, I was told I had 6 or 8 months of a wait, and suddenly 2 weeks later I got a call. I know it's inconvenient, but what happens is the people that are already on the wait list may not have given updated information to May Road. When May Road went to offer them a home, suddenly they can't take the home. May Road didn't know it. I've had 5 or 6 people in a row on the wait list that would not give us updates, and now suddenly after May Road goes through those 5 people offering them a home, you get down to that 6th person who expected 6 months or more, and they're offered a home. It's not mismanagement of the wait list, it's just the way that things happen. We don't always get the correct information. So one of the things that I want to point out is important. If you are on the wait list and things change, your status change, please let May Road know. The good things, you're getting a promotion. You're suddenly eligible for a different style of homes. Let them know. Let them know so they can put you on the higher wait list. You don't lose your place. You just go to the higher wait list. What if you're having a new dependent? Okay, so you didn't have dependents, or you had 1 before, you were a 2-bedroom entitlement, now you're a 3. Let's get you on the right wait list as soon as possible. We don't want May Road to offer you a 2-bedroom home when you're really 3-bedroom eligible. Or what if something else has happened? You've gotten into a lease and you can't accept a home for a year. Or you have bought a home and you're no longer interested. Let's let May Road know so they can cut down the numbers on the wait list and give more accurate wait times. Next slide, please. So this is a real-time waitlist summary. Well, real-time, it's as of yesterday. If you look in the first category under inventory, this will tell you how many homes, that third column over under inventory, how many homes we have per each category and bedroom. You know, we only have 741 homes here at Edwards, which is one of the reasons it's so tough to get into housing. But if you're, for example, our FGO waitlist is the longest, and when we only have 37 3-bedroom homes, it's hard to get people in. That second grouping under waitlist is the actual waitlist. It's a summary of it. It shows, the first column shows how many people are on the waitlist in each category. That second category shows key and essential, because of course key and essential go to the top of the list. They get housed before anybody else does. That third category is just information. Those are the number of people on the wait list that, according to the information they've supplied, could accept a home if offered within the next 60 days. Now the bad news. You go to the next column over. Right now, we don't have homes to offer. Our occupancy runs so high that we cannot offer a home to somebody unless somebody moves out or gives notice that they are moving out. We don't have homes just sitting around for people to move into. And then that very last column is the current estimate of the wait list and how long it would take somebody that got on the wait list today to get a home. And then down at the bottom, I put a little hint. I know people here were used to having the wait list in the lobby over at May Road. That has had to be moved. It is now in the actual May Road office. You are welcome to go in there at any time and take a look at it or call May Road. We do have to ask that you don't take photos and put it on social media. While the information is not PII, it is sensitive, and people object to having their information put out on social media. So if you can't make it in when May Road is open, please feel free to call the ladies in the office and ask them where you are on the wait list. Okay, so you've been through the process and you need some assistance. Say you have a unique situation and you think it needs consideration. There might be a reason you feel you need to be at the top of the wait list and not wait the whole time. And it may be very true. There are very real reasons out there why people need to be moved up on the wait list. Come in and talk to the military housing office or give them a call. Tell them what the issue is, be upfront. They're not going to gossip about you. And talk it over and see if there's something they can do. If there's a package that can be done to maybe get you moved up on the wait list, they will walk you through how to do that. And then we will need to send the package up to the wing for Colonel Caspers or General Heiger's signature. There are very few things that the MHO can actually do to change somebody or that May Road can do without leadership approval. That's one more double check to make sure everybody is treated fairly. So next point, you have a question about your place on the wait list. Call May Road. If you need an explanation, if you've gone down, you want to know what happened, you want to know if there's an updated time frame, give them a call. Those ladies are wonderful and they're there to help you. So please just give them a call or stop in and ask what's going on. Next slide, please. So how can you help? I'm going to reach out and actually ask for your help here. If you're already on the wait list and you've changed your mind, let May Road know. Why should they make a call to you if you're not going to be able to take it? Why hold up the wait list? If you've gotten in a lease and you can't move in until some date in the future, let them know you're not going to lose your place on the wait list. They will enter the date in there. And once the date is there, if they have a home that comes available before you can take it, they're just going to bypass you and go to the next available person. They're not going to call you and give you an offer that counts against your 3 offers. It would just be crazy to be getting offers and lose your choices when you don't need to. What if when you are contacted with an offer, it's very important to get back to them right away. The way an offer works is when a home is coming available and you are the next person on the wait list available to accept that home when it's going to be ready, May Road will give you a call or send out an email. Once that goes out, you have 24 hours to make your decision. Now, May Road is generally very generous. If they haven't heard from you by the next morning, they're going to try and call you again. Once you know about the offer, you have the 24 hours, let them know. Now, if you already know that you can't accept the home, just tell them. What if you're going TDY and your family isn't going to be here and you can't take the home for another 2 months? Let them know. Let them change the date. Don't let it count against your 3 offers. After 3 offers, you go to the bottom of the list or completely off the list, depending on what the list status is. So keep them updated and notified. They're there to work with you, and they want to work with you. So, and when you're already a housing resident, when you know that you are going to PCS or vacate, please let them know. That information is very important. Once you give a date, they can look and offer your house to somebody. Maybe you're not leaving for 2 months, but that way somebody who's on that wait list or who's been on there for a long time knows there's hope at the end of the tunnel. They know they have a house to go to soon. And don't forget that when you are going to leave, you must give a 30-day written notice to vacate. So by letting them know as soon as you know, it helps avoid not doing that notice to vacate.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Melody. Really appreciate that. And so just a reminder, if you want to see the wait list, it's in the May Road office to get the up to the minute. You saw that you saw a lot of the wait lists there's a good bit of variance, but some of them were 9 to 12 months and 12 months and greater. So it is a pretty significant demand for housing here on Edwards Air Force Base. And then for all the folks who are current residents, really want to foot stomp what Melody said, is keep May Road updated on your schedule and timeline, because what you're really doing is just helping out your fellow airmen who are waiting. So when you're either PCSing inbound, outbound, those status changes, and then on the outbound side, making sure that your schedule, you keep May Road apprised. That way they can turn the house as quickly as possible and make it available for that next inbound member. Melody, thank you so much for coming down here and spending the time with us, with Chief and I, and with all the folks out here at the in Takatatu. That question, we've received a number of questions on housing, and I really appreciate the comprehensive answer that you've given on the wait list and a lot of the procedures for getting in and out of housing. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Awesome. Have a great weekend, Melody. And thanks again for the conversation on housing. Let's see, we're getting close to the top of the hour. I see we do have another question out there.
You want me to take that one?
Yeah, you want to start off?
In your opinion, what are the biggest challenges Edwards Air Force Base is facing now, and what can we do to help? So I think that question is multi-pronged. There are a lot of challenges that I think align well with Mrs. Brown's 5 and Thrive. There are great facilities here for our schools, but there are still, by comparison, things that don't come close when it talks to education and some of the opportunities that folks PCSing in are used to seeing in other states. The housing inventory, Ms. Couch hit on how we just don't have enough inventory on the base to facilitate the numbers of folks that would benefit from living on the base. And that also goes for off base. There's not enough inventory on that side of the wire either. And when you look at families PCSing in and the spouse has a teacher's license or a nursing license, and they're not able to get a job as a teacher or a nurse because the reciprocity is not there based on the way that California does some of their requirements, that can be a challenge. Recruitment and retention of military and civilians, I would say, but especially civilians, when you look at some of the salaries and compare those to competitors, when you compare that to different areas within the state, still a challenge there. And so I would say that we don't have a lot of incentive or exceptions to policy to be able to sustain in some of those areas when it comes to recruiting people to come work here. I love that we have folks that absolutely appreciate what we do. They love the mission, and they understand that we're remote and isolated on purpose, and they have the means to continue to contribute. But there are other folks who would love to work here and contribute to the mission, but it just doesn't make sense financially. And so that is again a challenge. And so while there are initiatives, while we are working things that require OSD policy change and authorities, there are also things that are working against us at the state legislative levels. And so when you say, what is it that you can do, or what is it that we can do, I would say the answer to that is continue, if you haven't already, make your voice heard. Test Wing leadership, General Heiger, Colonel Caspers, myself, Mr. Osborne, and Colonel Manning, we are always advocating and making it known the challenges that I just kind of rattled off, and there's much more where that came from. But it makes a huge difference when 5 of us are the squeaky wheel, and you then compare that to the thousands of people that are stationed here or that live in the surrounding area that can make their voices heard in an effort to, show force of numbers and get people's attention. Our leadership at every level is aware of what we face. So it's not a matter of just making sure that our command is aware. That has always been a known thing. Our MAGCOM and everything in between is aware of what we deal with, what we face, but it's OSD level, it's California state level type of changes that have to occur in order to make 93523 a better zip code, or the best zip code, as the boss likes to say. And so please do us a favor, do us all a favor, and just make your voice heard. And I hope I'm saying that in a way that people can understand, but it takes all of us to make that change. We're talking, we're going to continue to fight and stand on desks, but we really need the community's support and help in that effort. So I would say that's what I would recommend.
I agree, Chief. I think you hit the nail on the head. Reading the question, I'm assuming that the person writing in is sort of targeting quality of life challenges. Like we just finished talking with Ms. Couch, housing is certainly a massive challenge. And I think that if we were to try to wrap it all up into one thing, it's the fact that Edwards is a remote and isolated location. And while there's a lot of things that Test Wing leadership and on up, like you mentioned, on up the chain, are working to try to improve quality of life initiatives here, so that we can have the most talented folks, capital A airmen, both civilian and our military, here to help us in that modernization fight. I think while those things are being worked, I think if the question is about what are the things that all of the community can do, I think one of the most important things is just to talk about all of the great things that Edwards does have and does offer, and the successes of Edwards, right? So that we can help attract additional talent to be able to get to that critical mass, as we, if you will, of community support and ultimately, if some of these initiatives are realized, grow the resident population here on base. So that, because those types of achievements just beget better and better community quality of life, and we have enough people to have economy at scale. So I think that's probably one of the biggest things. And like you said, getting your voice heard, and then just volunteering and being able to, whether you see a job that needs doing it. But I think that's how the greater community can help out. That brings us pretty much to time. We don't see any other questions out there. Thank you again for texting in your questions for Chief and myself. Thanks again to all the folks who joined us here to talk about a number of different aspects. The last thing that I'm going to plug is just a couple of things. One, hope to see you at Winterfest here this afternoon. If you can, flash up the Unite flyer and the bowling flyer. But for those who aren't tracking the Unite funds, which are the special Air Force funds that squadrons get to help teams come together. Folks are able to use that right now for bowling and golf. I think this is the flyer. I'm struggling to read the fine print, but that fine print essentially says right now we're at the end of the year and we have some money left over. So essentially, if your work organization, you want to go do some golf and do some team building, you can go over to the bowling alley, you can go over to the golf course, you just sign your name on the paper for each of the folks, you sign in, and you go out and have a round of golf. Bowl some games, and I believe food is even included there, as it says.
Free money.
So free money, essentially. Free food, free games for folks to be able to do some team building, relax, and build that camaraderie. So that's another one of those things that we are able to do, and that's Air Force wide, but certainly here at Edwards, I think that that program punches well above its weight class. So definitely don't leave any of that money on the table. Get out there and do some team building exercises. Were there any other things, any other announcements that I'm missing, Chief?
I think you hit Winterfest, so I think that kind of sums it up. Yes, sir.
So we better wrap it up so we can get to the additional holiday festivities. I hope that everyone else is enjoying their holiday parties, their holiday festivities as we roll into the holidays. Thank you again for joining us here at the Center of the Aerospace Testing Universe. On behalf of General Heiger, have a great weekend.